And we're live, guys. Welcome to today's live Q&A session, where the title of it is Link Building Strategies for 2025, which we will talk about. But before any of that, we will highlight channel sponsor, Randy Roday, the news guy. The link, the logo is above, the link is below.
He's all over.
Yeah, he's all over the place. And obviously we're here to answer your questions, guys. So make sure you do put your questions in the chat. Let us know where you're from, who's listening in. All of that kind of stuff is hugely important for us. So let us know. I'm also going to change my camera to that one because I was that one just looks a little bit better.
You think?
Yeah, better angle as well.
Oh, better angle, but I don't think
it's a better quality camera.
Okay. Well, the ISO is a little low, but I like that angle a lot better, though.
I am on a new laptop and I've not got everything, all my settings and shit. So I was actually trying to show Muzzy some stuff in SEMrush there. And I'm like, Muzzy, share your screen because I fucking don't even know my login to SEMrush on this computer. I've not got LastPass and all that on it. So I'm fumbling about with this computer today. And that's
I love that.
Never ideal. And I've not even had the chance to fix my lights in the background as well. So I'm going to fix them. What color should we go for today?
Well, what do you think would give that a nice hue? How about a yellow on top of that gold? Oh, I like that pink or that purple.
I can do pink.
That looks cool. I like that.
Let me do the other one.
That's pretty fresh. Same color or blue on that side?
I could make it a different color. Fucking hell, wait a minute.
Wow. Fancy pants. I like
there
it.
There we go.
Oh, man. Now I gotta be fancy. I'm gonna have to go and do that now.
Yeah, Palmer. Sort your shit out. You know that he's going to come back with something different next week. But we've got some people here. That is Supreme SEO from Legit. We have Eric Breet Nicholson. Good to see you. Ryan Sheehan, who does have a question. He says, hey guys, seems like traffic and conversions are down for many niches in the UK. Is it Google or is it the UK economy? Are you seeing things down over there, Chris, in the US?
I think it depends on the market. It depends on the area. It's booming in some areas, some areas not. Some markets are good, some aren't, So I think it depends on who you talk to, where you're at and what you're doing. As far as the UK, though, everybody I see that, not that I talk to that many from the UK, but if I do speak to somebody, it seems like they're very affluent. I spoke to a lady that was doing these hot air heating things. And I go and look at the traffic in Sheffield and it's like 2,900. I'm like, what? Jeez. I was thinking like, 200, $150. I think it's your market, Ryan. But yeah. You know you're low though when you're down to the very end and you're like, it's got to be the economy. Like who's it gonna be? Oh, it's the economy.
The only thing is, the economy is kind of fucked as well. It's hard sometimes where you're like, is it the economy? Is it my website? Is it Google?
Yeah, but that's it. People, like I've spoken to you numerous times. There's a lot of things that are alike, but a lot different. But when it comes to no matter what, though, for you, regardless of the economy, you would just be like, okay, next.
Yeah. Right? You've got to adapt. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can either sit there and take it or try something slightly different or whatever. Try to change tact. So
that's it.
Yeah. But what says Nerdy? and we have. I'm still jet lagged, so I'm going to try and say this name, but Tribuluklu. That's a fucking hard name. But big fan, and thanks for both sharing your knowledge. Do local links to a local business website affect local map pack rankings? I am having issues with ranking these. So does sending links to your local website help your map rankings, Chris?
Directly, no. I would not feel as though that a hyperlink pointing to my website would have any impact standing alone on my maps listing at all. Now, however, in a hypothetical situation, if I were to have a link, right? Let's just say it's sitting on a authoritative website and it ranks for a variation of my primary key term, and I were to land on said page, which takes me to my website, which then ends the session perhaps on my maps listing, or maybe an offer or an event within my maps listing, I could see that being beneficial. However, how do you duplicate that numerous times? So I think, traffic from a link could be helpful, but just the link itself pointing to your website, nah, no way.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Like, there's guys out there, Chris included, who can rank a map listing without even having a website. So linking to your website, how does that help your map ranking if you can do it without it? If that makes sense. You could rank a map without a website, full stop, Chris. So does anything that you're doing to said website actually directly impact your map ranking? Clearly not. If you can rank it without the website, then clearly the basic mechanics of how a map pack ranks.
Yeah, but I've gotten that debate or that rebuttal. However, though, if the connected website, let's say maps listing is about plumbing and the connected website is about bounce houses, I guarantee you that maps listing does poor. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's not going to be impacted by the links.
It's not the links, but the point you were trying to make was if I could do it without a website, then the site doesn't have any impact on the maps listing.
Oh, no, the traffic can help it, but a link to the website is not going to help. If you can rank, if there's a way to rank a map without a website, then clearly anything that you do to that website isn't directly helping the map ranking. They're two separate fucking things. Sure, the traffic and everything else will help your map ranking. Of course it will. But you could send traffic to your map without fucking having the website. That there's arguments for that. So, I think, when we talk about these things, you could argue back and forth all day long, but go, no, Chris, fucking. But to the layman out there, sending a link to your website, is it going to move the needle in the map? Absolutely no fucking way. Is the answer. Make sure that you're doing things that are going to help your map listing, whether that be citations, whether that be driving direction requests, all of the kind of CTR stuff, and all the kind of funky stuff that Chris has probably got a lot more of that stuff in his channel than I have. And regularly updating it, because the problem with the map ranking stuff is what was good 6 months ago doesn't necessarily work now. The method, as they call it, certainly, in terms of how you do certain things and all that kind of stuff change all the time. And I think, Chris is probably the guy to go to if you're looking for more information on that, whether you want it as a service or whether you want to just view some content on it. I think Chris does a good job at keeping his channel up to date with all of that kind of stuff, because that is his thing. So do check that out. But yeah, map rankings, I'm just like, oh fuck, I just a sore head. It's just so fucking volatile.
And 80% of it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Here's one, Chris. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, but there was a period of time, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember the exact specifics, where you were able to close down another person's map listing by saying that their business was finished. And obviously they patched that because some motherfucker kept doing that to me, and every day I had to go back in and say, no, I'm still open. So they patched that bollocks from being able to happen. It's now come back. You can do it again. And you're like, motherfuckers. So what was patched and fixed? And that's, I could give you countless instances of shit like that, then opening back up. So it's worth just highlighting, you know, sometimes things work again.
No question.
Yeah. So just throwing that in there. But he also goes on to say, what would you say are the top optimizations for a Google business listing? This is an auto repair. I've got all categories, services, citations, link to the local page, FAQs, address, etc. So what is the top optimizations in your opinion, Chris?
Top optimizations. Well, not to go on too much, but facts on a high commercial intent page changes the intent of the page. So ditch that. On those location service pages that are connected, are we talking about the other sub-locations? Am I pointing from the Google Business Profile listing to the website if I'm connecting it? Do I have those products and services pointing like to the neighborhoods or town pages? Or if I don't have the page on my top level city page, do I talk about those towns, cities, and neighborhoods? But you asked me for the top ranking signals. Mm-hmm. Top ranking signals, of course, are still going to be how close are you to the searcher? How close are you to the intent of the searcher? On top of that, how many reviews do you have containing primary location and entity key terms? Is the velocity of those reviews with those particular terms inside of it at a high enough frequency? Next, am I getting traffic and clicks from the areas in which I can service? Traffic, clicks, proximity to the intent, optimization, pretty much it. And then, of course, age. How old is the profile? You know, I've seen business owners that had zero optimization, but they were there first, and they will remain there. They will remain there proudly, doing nothing, making clients insane. This guy's not doing anything. He's not getting any reviews. Yeah, I know. That's okay. I'll be the number 2 guy at Facebook is rich. So, hey, number 2 is okay. And plus, that ranking algorithm within the 3-pack, that can change based on the time of day. You know, there's things there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but other than that, proximity, the intent, making sure that everything is, you know, we want, I noticed this with business owners. I guess I'm on a mini tangent, but I noticed this with business owners. You can't be the expert of more than one thing. So figure out what your 80 or 90% of your business is, and that's your expertise. If you're an expert in an area that's not being greedy, if you can be an expert in a 10-mile radius for one thing, have an expert on the site, have an expert online. You could build a whole brand around your expertise and on one thing in an area and be very dominant. So I hope that helps.
Hopefully it does. But you'll definitely check out your channel. But guys, keep the questions coming. We will go through and answer them on a first come, first served basis. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Stupid answers.
And but anyway, back to the topic where we're supposed to be starting off with.
Oh yeah.
Link building strategies, Chris. You say some things have not changed in the 80% of things have not changed in the kind of local SEO space. What about link building? You feel that's the same, or has things changed? What are you doing now? Because obviously we've spoken many times about guest posts, niche edits, fucking cloud stacking, the Web 2.0's fucking blog comments. What is working well in this day and age? Because there's a lot of misinformation on this topic.
Well, let's just from the standpoint of a relatively new website, all right? Because things will change as time progresses. But, definitely not cloud stacks. Web 2's very seldom. maybe at the very, very early stages. But I think if I'm working on if I'm working on a brand new local site or 6-month-old, a year old, I'm primarily focused on niche specific and geo specific citations and directories. Most notably, I'm looking for the paid directories that the top performers in organic and top performers in maps have. So what are the top ones that they all have, paid or not? We want those. What's the aggregators that everyone knows? We're going to grab those. On top of that, there's aggregators that aren't the top 6 on Bright Local that have proved to be very, very effective. The next piece that I want to do is if it's a high commercial intent page, top level page, or a city we have to win, I hate it. I'm sure you do too, but you have to get your money out. I think it's in our best interest to have at least one in local markets, something of substance, most notably high referring domain counts within a specific category. I'm not overly concerned about traffic unless that traffic can lead to a sale, but I'm after referring domains in category. The overall domain would be nice if it's booming, but is it category specific? On top of that, I'm looking to get links to all the pages, usually done with directories. I think the only thing that's changed for me is going out of my way to seek out category specific, high referring domain count sites that just so happen to also have boatloads of traffic. I think the other piece is regardless of quality, right? I think the more mentions to back up your expertise online definitely are showing benefit. If I could get 100 sites to say that, hey, I'm Chris Palmer, Gray Hat SEO Agency, if I could just back up my expertise and my authority, and it can be verbatim online more times, very helpful. I don't know if you'd call that co-citation link building or what, but very, very effective. I don't play with the digital PR stuff. I don't like getting taxed. Plus, I don't think I'm that special, nor like a plumber in Idaho isn't going to get a featured article on HuffPost, but I do like getting media placements just for the equity. That's all that's changed for me. A lot of that budget has to go to those really good links. It hurts. It hurts. That's it. Anything here's something I've learned over the course of the last decade, right? Being public. The first decade was still the same mantra. Who can get there the fastest and the cheapest? That's still the mantra. However, if you run into a process or a technique or a strategy that takes a million steps or isn't scalable, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm good. It's got to be scalable, repeatable, fast, easy. I need to be able to show a 10-year-old how to do it.
Yeah.
Like doing outreach or signing up on a platform and developing a relationship isn't that hard. So I think that's important. That's all I have to say about that. I saw you were typing. I was like, I'll keep going.
Oh no. I was looking for something for my chair actually. Multitasking at the same time. But yeah, dude, I've got a fucking sore ass, believe it or not, sitting in this chair. Like, I need a pillow, like, for my ass on it, because I've been on this chair for like 4 hours now, and it's just
I can't. My back,
fucking ass, man.
That's why I stand. You never tried standing?
I've got this table actually goes up. I could stand.
I love it.
But yeah, I don't bother with that.
Plus, like at the end of the day, when you stand all day, let's just say it's a 10-hour day, right? You're not working a full 10 hours, right? Yeah. But you're at your machine. With that being said, when you're done, if you stand the whole day, I take breaks. But if I make it the whole day, when I sit down in bed, like I feel like not only mentally exhausted, but I'm also like, it's relieving. Yeah. You should try it, Craig. I think you'll like it. It feels like you actually worked for the day.
Yeah.
Because my job's fun. I have fun all day.
I'm fucking super jet lagged as well though. Like I just came back from Vietnam on Sunday and I'm still fucked, mate. I'm still getting up at 3 a.m, which is like 10 a.m. in Vietnam. I'm just like fuck up at 3 a.m. And now when it comes to 3, 4, 5 o'clock, I just feel as if I've been hit by a bus. You'll know the feeling.
I do, but here, you know what I noticed about those places? Like, I swear I'm meant to be either in a different time zone because I'm more of a night guy. The only reason I'm up during the day is because the world works in the day,
yeah,
and like the kids are up in the day. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
this is my I have anybody else I tell them to beat it. This one I gotta take.
Take it.
Hello, honey. Yes.
But Benjamin, Benjamin, are local business association considered as good links? From what I noticed, they often haven't given much link juice. The answer to this is, and this is just my opinion, there's different types of links that you want to get. Now, you obviously want something that's super relevant, category specific to your industry, that has as much power as you can. Obviously, you're going to get some generic stuff, maybe some news websites that have got sheer power, but I think also locality and local business association helps with that side of things. And I wouldn't expect local business associations to be high powered as such, but do they play an important part in terms of forming where that business is, and giving that signal off to Google? Absolutely. So I do think they do play an important part of the mix, if that makes sense, because you can't just go for everything generic news wise. You do need your category specific stuff, to the niche you're in, but also that kind of locality stuff as well, I think are an important part of the mix as well. So whilst it's going to be very hard for any kind of local business association to be the same as some of the kind of big high profile press publications, I do think they do carry some weight, if that makes sense. So I would be absolutely mixing all of that kind of stuff up, and that's what makes a kind of good natural backlink profile, if you ask me. So hopefully that answers your question. But guys, do keep the questions coming. Don't be scared to ask anything that is basic. We're here to answer whatever you guys need answered. So put your questions in the chat and we will work our way through them. Once, of course, Chris comes back from his call. So there he is. But sometimes business comes first, and you've just got to take a call.
Hey. Well, today's my day. She went to the law offices today to like take care of something. So today's my day. So she's like, all worried.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget my little guy. Come on. I've been waiting all day to get him. We're going to eat. Go to the park, play some basketball.
God.
Yeah, I can't dunk, but I trash him in basketball. He's the only guy I can beat.
I can just imagine the little guy.
Yeah, I just wipe him out too.
Yeah, I do the same.
He'll be 11-3.
And my wife's like, you're fucking harsh on him. Let him fucking win. I'm like, nah, he's never going to fucking learn if I let him win. Fuck that. Yeah.
No way.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
But
and he's getting better though too. He's like trying.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the thing. Like if you let them win all the time, they're not going to try and they're not going to really progress. So it's nice to see, because dude, I play on the PlayStation wrestling. We've got the wrestling game for the PlayStation, and he's fucking obsessed with wrestling right now. He's going through the phase of wrestling. But before I went on my trip, I beat his ass all day long, man. Fucking beat him senseless. See, when I came back, dude, I can't even get up off the ground. If he gets me first, then I go down. I ain't getting back up. And I'm like, this guy, man, he has sat for the 3 weeks I was away and just became obsessed.
He's like, Daddy, yo,
And
you
I'm
want
like-
to play a game quick?
to the point where I actually hate playing it now. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm tired. I'm not getting beat at this
Got
one.
work to do.
Fuck that.
Is it UFC or actual wrestling?
No, actual wrestling. But
Look,
the
yeah,
good
we-
thing is, I don't know any of the current new wrestlers, but you get points in the game if you play, and you can get the Hulk Hogans and
superstars.
all the kind of superstars. Yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that I would remember. I got the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, that's who I was gonna say. My
Dude,
guy. Yes.
I got Ultimate Warrior the other day, and I'm like, fuck. But he's pretty shit in it, to be fair.
Well, he had a bad backstory, so I could see them. But him as a character is sick.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole heap of them that I would love to get. But you need to play and build up your points before you're allowed to fucking get them. So that's that. But Professor Singles, I'm thinking of transitioning from SEO into growth marketing. Should I focus my second skill on pay-per-click or social media?
What? I think there's opportunities no matter where you look. Who do you have clients for currently? What's the path of least resistance for the pitch? Where can you apply the most value for your clients? The more value you can provide, the more you'll make. So that's the angle I would take. Is it PPC or social? Where can you make them blow up? Because if you can make them blow, you're going to get paid. So,
but also what I'd add to that is, what do you enjoy? Like,
yeah, well,
if you don't like social media, for example, you don't want your face there or things like that, then absolutely do it. But if it makes you uncomfortable and stuff, then pay-per-click's certainly something that you can hide more, if you like. But I think with social media, I'm not saying you have to be the face of it, but doing so, both have massive benefits. You've got all of these kind of social media superstars, then that's their full-time job. So there's money in both. But it comes down to, if Chris was to ask me, Craig, what should I do, social media or pay-per-click? I'd maybe say, well, Chris, you quite actually enjoy being on camera. You're quite animated. People like you. They like the personality, the craziness, and whatever you want to call it. Because, believe it or not, Chris, I was actually in Vietnam, and a guy came up to me and he's standing talking to me, and I seen his badge, and I'm not going to say his name, but he's like, "How are you, Craig?" And he's talking to me like he'd known me for years. And he's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I am a regular on your YouTube." And I'm like, "All right." And I looked at his name again, and I'm like, "He's bullshitting me, man. I don't know that name." And he went, "I go under the name Fred Hutterson on air." And I'm like, Fred.
Yes.
But yeah, I met him. That's obviously not his real name. But I was like, fuck, it's nice to meet you. Appreciate, because he comes on regular and has done for years. And I'm like, it's nice to see that as well. But clearly he doesn't want his face out there. So, Fred was asking the question, I'd be going, dude, you stick to pay-per-click. If you don't want your face out there for, if it just makes you uncomfortable or you're shy, or it's not for everyone. So
it's not for everyone.
Nah.
It feels, I don't want to say natural because it was weird at first. But like, I have buddies that they don't do SEO or marketing, but they're respectable in power washing or roofing or whatever they're doing, right? I'm like, man, you should hop on. And I'm watching these roofing videos of these guys like before, after, or they're screwing around, 150,000 views. Just nonsense. And they're like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I seen a guy
I'm like, what?
that does power washing on TikTok. And he goes up to someone's door, right? So he'll find a really shitty garden. That maybe it's an old lady who maybe can't look after it. And he goes and he does it for free.
Yep.
And he fucking trims it and power washes all the shit. And it obviously, you know, the before and the after, you're like, whoa, fucking hell. You know, within an hour, this guy's made a fucking hell of a difference. But the work and traction he gets off of that is fucking scary.
Phenomenal.
And people will be going, look at that idiot, you know, out there power washing an old lady's thing for free and all. One, he's done an amazingly good deed.
Karma.
But he's got the virality and people are paying him a fortune. So
he gets all the tips to do the jobs, plus it's beneficial all the way around.
So absolutely something you can do. Ursol, good to see you as well. You guys seeing any movements on the current core update, Chris? Any kind of major movement that you can tell us about?
Nothing notable. It's too early for me to tell. Nothing notable. No one's crying. Not like the last one, like September, November, right before the year hit. People were losing their minds. It's not like that, you know. And then everything readjusted. I don't think it's tackling at least what I'm doing or working on. So nothing too bad. I'm looking at one of my main clients right now. We had a loss of 3.41%. So I just checked really quick. Like, hey, let's go see.
For the most competitive term that I'm currently working on, just now, from the 2nd of March up until now, it's went up 50,000 clicks. The most competitive term. So I would say the update's been kind to some of the projects that I'm working on. I've not really seen any kind of negative stuff at this moment. But obviously, never say never. You say that, then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, fuck. But it's nothing crazy here.
That's funny. I that's what I did. I went to the hardest, like, what's the hardest niche, toughest client?
I just know the one that fucking is really volatile. You know, and that's the kind of stuff that I would always look to see if it's
impacting my strategy.
But yeah.
Like, am I getting cooked? Nope. I'm 7% up on keywords, but we lost a little bit of traffic. I'd say that's doing good. Doing good.
But Pool Table Master, thoughts on the new Google AI mode? Seems like they should have just done that from the beginning instead of AI overviews. I'm very concerned that will kill click-through rates. What do you think?
I think that the advancement and things are changing so rapidly. You know, how many different iterations have there been? Different viewpoints, different opinions. Then you get used to it. Then it changes. No, as of now, I don't really have. I don't care. If something is an issue, then we'll work around it or work with it. If it's too big of an issue, then we'll just work through it. But that's it. It's of no concern to me. But I like Google. You know,
come on,
like,
Chris,
it's not
like an ass there. Come on.
I love Google. Chris Palmer loves Google. I've been working for Google. I feel like I've been working for Google for my whole life. If somebody asks me, I just say, hey, I work for Google. Because it's too hard to explain like what we do. I've given hey, you know what Google is, right? You know those sites at the top? They didn't get there by accident. And then it's like a whole nother rigmarole. Now it's just, I just work at Google.
I just let people think what they fucking think now. I don't even give a fuck. But there we have it. But can we outrank someone just with Linksbot?
Well, just with links bot, you're leaving out too many factors. You know, could you? Yes. Like hypothetically, sure. Anything is potentially possible, but how old is the person I'm trying to beat? How long have they been in position? You know? So there's too many things. That's a big one. If somebody's been sitting somewhere for, you know, longer than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, Google's a product, just like whatever you're pitching. Like Google's not going to risk their product for your new website. When they had this guy been sitting here 5 years, click-through rates are within whatever the test is, people are bouncing, people are happy. Why would they change that? That's why those top 3 never switch. They have to make a drastic error for you to get in position, especially in, you know, as the competition goes up, that means the CPC value is higher and there's more traffic. For Google to risk their product, they have to make a serious blunder. So that's all. That's all I have to say about that.
Hopefully that helps you. But yeah, I can't really add much more than what Chris has said. Kashif, is link building or backlinks existing in the coming 2 to 3 years after seeing a lot of AI stuff? AI is one thing. Is that likely to impact backlinks, Chris, in your opinion, in the next couple of years?
I'm sure whatever we think of link building or whatever we think of the search engine or AI as of this moment now will be drastically different in 3 years. Look back 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you were doing. Has it evolved? When you really look at what you were doing 3 years ago, it's evolved quite a bit. So I can only imagine in 3 more. How about 5 more? So no concern. We'll see when it gets here.
Makes sense. To wait, you can't just listen. People have been saying link building's been dead, and SEO's been dead since fucking I started. So you just don't know.
It's is it as effective as it was in 2003? Heck no. It's like you're throwing up nonsense and getting 10,000 visitors in the first 90 days. That is gone.
Yeah.
That is long gone. You remember those little 300-word little posts we used to make? Like, dude, those days are over.
Dude, that was
Is it as effective as it was? Nah. But there's more opportunities now. There's more channels. Eyeballs or interest is going other places. Social, there's pod, there's ads, there's AI. There's so many more opportunities. I wouldn't just kick it to the side, though.
No.
Especially me. I mean, I'm not.
Still the bad boys.
Yeah, like that's my bread and butter is SEO.
Yeah.
You know, it has a place in my heart.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I love Google, and now it has a place in my heart. What the?
It does. It does.
Anyway,
change my life.
So I need someone at Talk Sensor. So on Google Maps, you've noticed some of the map is yellow, some of it is grey. I think the former is commercial, the latter is residential. Does this impact how easy a Google business profile is to verify? Absolutely, Ursul. The yellow is, I've done a video on it ages ago. You want to pick a nice yellow opportunity that maybe isn't saturated, if that makes sense. And yeah, that is exactly what you want to do. You know, nothing wrong. People do have businesses and you can do it at a residential property. But if you're playing the game and you're getting, and I'm going to use someone else's chat here, unnatural GMBs. Dude, there's a guy in my mastermind and he used that. He asked a question. He's like, I want to talk about unnatural GMBs. And you're like, what do you mean by unnatural? Like,
can you repeat the question?
Yeah. I'm like, I like that. I like that. It's one of those. I took a note of it down. The same as the one that you used. If you're not working with me, you're working against me. That's also been written down in a special place. So, but yeah, yellow is commercial, and for me, if you're trying to pretend that you're in a place and you're a commercial business that's likely to have a commercial premises, I would absolutely be trying to identify something there that didn't have 400 other businesses in the same building as well. So just that little added tip there. We had one actually, Chris. Me and Slaughter were in Dubai, and Slaughter was looking to identify or acquire a listing. And dude, obviously in Dubai, there's a lot of fake businesses set up anyway for other reasons.
Big time.
But dude, the fucking dustbin. So we're looking at the yellow property and we're zooming in. Dude, the dustbin and every fucking thing had a fucking like 3 or 4 businesses.
Every legend lad.
Like fucking
9 million.
Who's got a hold of this? I want the person's name. What GMB monster fucking done this? And they're in the dustbin and everything, dude. It was insane. So yes is the answer there, Saul, and for anyone else. Bogdan, I'm a bit late to the discussion. Would you agree creating content specific for attracting backlinks is the best strategy long term? No, not necessarily. Like, it depends who you are, Bogdan. If you're some rookie plumber in the back end of Pennsylvania, this days, what content can you really create that people are going to link to? There's fuck all. There's literally fuck all. Unless you come up with some wacky story that someone's fucking head fell down the pan or some weird shit. Like, that's, I mean, there's only so much you can do with that. So, no, you know, I wouldn't agree with that at all. I think if you can come up with that stuff and you can attract natural backlinks, absolutely. You know, if you can create some viral stuff, interesting stuff, if you can do that, absolutely. But even for us in the SEO space, can we really create content that's going to get us stuff? Sure, if you come up with an amazing hack or trick or whatever it may be, I'm pretty sure that would work. But nah, I would just go out there and buy them, get them, acquire them, trick them, whatever it takes to get those backlinks. I wouldn't be... See, this whole Google will reward amazing content. I don't buy into it, man. Unless you're David Beckham or something, maybe. Or Donald Trump, then it's not happening. But I did do a podcast with Bogdan. I did get your WhatsApp, but obviously I'm on this live. And yes, Bogdan, I promoted it on my Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. So yes, you're welcome. He's got eyeballs on his podcast. He's launching a new podcast.
So, you're welcome.
I tell you what, it's a bizarre, because I was telling someone the story today, Bogdan. So Bogdan is a guy that stays 20 miles away from me.
I watched it.
And did you watch it? And so he came to me and he said, "Do you want to come on this podcast and all that stuff?" And I'm like, "Sure." So he's like, "Come to my studio and we'll do this and that." So I've just went along. I didn't know what to expect. So I'm sitting outside this dude's house and I'm like, the way he was talking, you know, studio and all that, I'm like, fucking hell, I've turned up to the wrong place. Anyway, he comes out and we go into his garden. So I'm going, fuck, I'm at some guy's fucking house doing a podcast. And you go into the garden, mate, and he's got this studio in his garden with the most amazing fucking setup. Like he's obviously a musician that he does a lot of stuff in the music industry. So he's got like this studio for all of that shit. It must have 50, 100 grand worth of kit in it. But the best cameras, the best chairs, the best everything. But see, when you sat outside, you're like, fucking hell, I'm at a guy's house. And just within seconds, you're like, fucking the best
immersed
setup that I've seen massively. And Bogdan, I've got my own studio and I still sit and go, I need a Bogdan fucking studio. Dude, they had just the wiring and everything. I'm just like, fuck me, man. I need that guy's fucking setup. And so,
multiple angles.
dude, he's got everything. He's got the Blackmagic cameras. They're all hardwired into the software. There's just no fucking around. Like, we're goofing around with all this shit, man. It's fucking...
Jeez. Oh, so that's not the one I saw. Because this one is a guy was in like a black shirt and he was asking me, how do you do so much? And you're
no, that was Bogdan. That was Bogdan. That's him.
Oh, you were outside during that?
That's in his garden, dude.
Wow. Interesting.
So yeah,
that's intriguing.
It's just amazing setup, man. But yeah, that podcast went live today.
Nice. What's your address?
Dude, I'm telling you. He rents it out. I'm pretty sure he rents it out sometimes to certain people. But yeah, it's a long flight for you, Chris. But I would highly recommend checking out his studio, mate. It's second to none. So
nice. How's those you like those Blackmagic cameras as opposed to a Sony or a Canon?
Yeah, so I've got Canons just now, and I can record, right? I can have 3 cameras, I can have 5 cameras, whatever. I've then got to take the SD cards out. The fucking camera stopped recording after half an hour and all this fucking bullshit because they don't want to overheat or whatever the fuck the mechanism
is for what we're doing. Yeah.
He's got the fucking Blackmagic's fucking hardwired in to the soft OBS or whatever the hell he's got. And dude, it's just slick. You just sat there chilled, fucking no switching shit on and off and all that. Fucking just sat there, just chatting shit. And you can actually just enjoy the conversation more where I'm doing podcasts in here and I'm like, fuck,
is this on?
I've got an alarm going off, in 3 seconds, because the fucking cameras are going to cut out and shit. It's just fucking stressful, man. So I'm going to get the Blackmagics.
So, and then what type of audio was it? Shure?
I'm pretty sure he had Shure mics, either that or Rode. I can't remember, but it was like
top notch.
Dude, it was all he has not scrimped at all on that. I mean, I'm saying 50 or 100 grand worth of kit in there. He'll probably say, Craigie, you fucking kidding? It cost me 300. But dude, the best of everything, man. So fair play.
Damn, you with these lights now. This guy with the freaking setup.
Yeah. So
I built a stage, but then I'm like, man, I like my office. I don't want to sit on the stage all day.
Nah, fuck that. That's why I've got this here. And wait a minute. The podcast, excuse the mess, but the podcast bit's over there.
Oh yeah, big mess.
So, but yeah, it's it is what it is.
Is there no windows in there?
No, I don't have windows in my office. Full stop. I'm in a warehouse that's converted. Like I've got the staff and stuff over there. This is just my studio, so that there's no one bothering me. I don't hear any noise, no one talking. So, yeah,
good for focus.
Yeah, but enough about that stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll try and go through the questions. I think backlinks will arguably become more impactful in the coming years. I would agree with that, Eric. And I tell you what, if you want to get into the AI overview or manipulate that stuff, you still need your content and links to be on said articles. Joining the dots for EAT and making sure that it's, the linking to the right Craig Campbell website, the right Craig Campbell stuff. So I think they will. I absolutely agree. And AI can't replicate placements on authoritative websites. That is the key thing there. And there's another one, Richest Domains. I was actually talking when I met the guy, Fred Hutterson, I was like, we met Richest Domains. She came to our conference. We didn't know who she was. So Richest Domains, I met last week in Vietnam, another person who's a long-term person who comments on our stuff. It reminded me of the time we met your good self in Vegas. So yeah,
surprising.
Was out a morning walk. Phone pop-up said you were here, and we're here to make your walk even better. But don't talk about my plumbers. But oi music. How would you run a phone farm for CTR manipulation, Chris? Have you got one, or would you?
I do currently. I think there's better ways, but I think currently there's lots of providers out there, like Proxidize. Another one is Xproxy. I believe you could get the hardware with the software. Another way to do it is Microsoft Microsoft Android. They have two tools that work very well together. You ever notice when you first get a Windows computer, your phone is automatically like connected? They have like software. Well, they have that same exact software for enterprise. So with that, along with Power Automate, you're able to also do the same thing that Proxidize is doing. But there's even better. There's much better. There's much better than that, which I will not be sharing with you today.
Do you know what I'm kicking myself about, Chris?
What?
I was in Vietnam and I was leaving on Saturday. And I'm in the cab going to the airport and I'm just going past all these shops.
Yeah.
And we went past a Vietnamese phone farm. And
nice.
Like, motherfucker, why did I not just go and visit one? Just
get the pictures.
Some photos, man. Like, what
yes.
the fuck? I forgot all about it.
They're just like on the walls.
I just wanted to see what it was like, man, and see if I could just go in there and fucking
do whatever you want.
I just wanted to see, is it you just literally go on the phone and you need to do the action on every phone, or...
Oh, it wasn't a data cafe. It was literally a phone farm.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen them masked as, data cafes or, internet cafes.
Well, you might have been able to buy a coffee in there or something. I don't know, but
yeah.
I mean, it fucking just looked like a fucking phone farm, dude. It just looked like
it is. You're supposed to be able to go in there and use the device like, or you can use 50.
There was no hiding. This wasn't like something that was in any way not a phone farm. This was just a fucking phone farm. It was just clear as day. It might have said fucking phone farm outside it.
Collected pennies from AdSense.
Yeah.
Downloading coin. What is it called? Coinbase.
Yeah.
For $4. Times however many.
But Christopher is saying, does it make sense to build guest posts to the GBP, Bing Maps listing and Apple Maps listing, or are these links better served going to the website and trying to rank?
So if the guest post is going to be related to the search term or within the keyword grouping of search terms that you're trying to rank for, right? Like if you're a plumber near me, plumber contractor, Sheffield, will your guest post index and rank in the top 3 pages so I don't have to spend a lot of resources going to page 9 to give it a click?
Mm-hmm.
If you can build a guest post that will rank on the first or second page for a key term variation for the keyword grouping that you want, and I can push traffic through that guest post over to my asset, then yes, there's value there. But that's a lot of ifs and a lot of setup and it can be a lot of work, So does it make sense to build a guest post to the GBP? Yes, if I can. It's not that you want the link. It's that I want to push traffic through, push interest through to the GBP. But it has to be for the keyword grouping. Because I've tried it for irrelevant stuff. It doesn't, like, okay, hey, I can't rank for, let's just hypothetically, plumber near me, Sheffield. I can't rank my guest post or the PR. It'll go up for a month and then it will dump. But I can rank for, piggy bank tips, right? But there's something there. It's not as effective.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that. It's not the links. The links are, nah. There has to be interaction on the link.
Yeah.
So best wishes.
And are you saying that we should build citations to location service area pages where I'm not physically located but want to rank in?
It's not citations. Citations are a structured citation, right? Like, no. As far as directories, now remember, a directory or a co-citation online could be on any site that lists name, address, phone number with a link. So you have a page on your website targeting an area that you're not physically in order to get business. Why wouldn't I build digital reference points back to that asset?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you would. Yeah, but not citations.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. And how is Holly Starks running her phone farm?
What's that saying? It's to be sold and not told? I don't know. You gotta ask her.
Yeah, I don't want to give her secrets. So
Yeah, you're on your own.
I think she's pretty open if you watch her stuff. But I think we done a live on Monday, Holly, Randy, and I, and she was showing. You know, she's literally got the fucking someone making it's like a fucking real phone farm, like a fucking shelving fucking thing in her house with all the fucking shit on it.
She's housing hardware?
Yeah. I mean, she might be doing other stuff on top of it. Dude, she's still nicking around with lots of phones.
Yeah, but the heart... Goodness gracious. Oh, but I thought I saw her promoting a offer related to hardware with software.
That might be going on as well. But I know there is physical phones going on as well. I know that much. I don't know if it's a mixture of everything or the physical phones are for something else, you know, because I know Holly's not necessarily doing it for CTR. She's doing some shit with podcasts and ranking podcasts and all of that kind of stuff. You know, I think that might be what the physical phones are for or whatever, and she might be doing something else with the other stuff. I don't know, is the honest answer, but
you know that she's up to something.
Yeah, watch closely. The one tip I'll give you about Holly is she says too much. You just need to probe her a little bit, and she normally will give it out.
Oh, see, I was gonna say she's very open and outgoing, and she will definitely sell it to you.
But she is, but
Yeah.
But she also probably gives too much away as well. Sometimes it's like, Holly, I don't know if I'd be giving all of that up. But
well, yeah, who knows though? You know how that stuff is though. It's like something easy that you just didn't see, and you're like, oh, you gave me it all except for that.
Yeah.
Not saying her does that deliberately, just in general, that's how it goes.
But it's also how you twist it. Sometimes, you know, someone can say something and somehow your fucking mind twists it all and fucks it all up. So
we all see the same thing through different eyes. That is true, Craig.
But that is us.
That's us.
That is us for the day. But we got a whole bunch of questions. I definitely think this timing's better, Chris.
This is fun.
So, yes.
I was getting worried there for a while. I was like, oh man, what's going on?
But nah.
Just start pumping ads for Craig. Yo, come to this freaking show.
Nah, I think it was time and obviously lack of consistency. But
who would have thought?
I've got a lot of my traveling out of the way, so hopefully we're
Do you have anywhere else planned?
I'm coming to America for spring training in May. I've got a few lined up, but nothing. I've not got a whole heap of them lined up. We'll see what happens. But I'm not doing 3 weeks away and fucking all this fucking bollocks and trips to India and stuff. You know, there's none more of that this year. Yeah. All of that crazy shit's gone. So, the first quarter is nearly over, and I've got all the crazy ones out the way.
Big trips.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rich's Domains spring training in Arizona is the one I'll be at. I think it's at the start of May. So, and I know you're from Arizona, so
in the start of May.
You should shoot me a message, Rich's Domains. I don't know what platforms you're on, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. Shoot me a message, even if you don't go to the event. I'm always happy to meet you for a coffee. I don't drink booze, but if you want to catch up, shoot me a message while I'm in Arizona, and we can say hello.
And you're still open in July too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a quote back, not for the Emperor's room, but 2 levels down.
Dude,
I
am happy doing it there. I'm also happy doing it in a fucking standard hotel, whatever works. I think it's these things are what we make of it.
That's 100%. But it's if we're gonna do it, might as well do it right.
I don't listen. I am not against doing it in the nice places and stuff like that. I would hate to get stung with a fucking similar deal as we got the last time.
No. Did I mention that I actually went ahead and did it? Not. I think it could be pulled off for much better, more frugal for sure.
We need the frugal approach.
It's the time frames. But with that being said, it doesn't feel like there's as many. Remember when it was like ultra saturated? I felt like people were doing it. I don't know, or maybe I was just paying more attention.
Nah, there's not as many. I think people were trying to pop them up all over the place, and I think they quickly realised that they weren't big money spinners. You know.
Oh yeah, no. But it's distribution.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's I don't know.
It's
I'm with it.
But a lot of people are doing it for probably a lot of the wrong reasons. They're trying to do it to make money from it, and if we lost money on the last one, but we had a great time, and you get the distribution, so it's not all bad, if that makes sense. So it depends on how you view these things, and I think some people will get burnt very quickly at the start, and then just shit their pants and never do it again. So
yeah, I think the lesson was don't try to make any guap, try to break even, but making an incentive to be pushed by the speakers.
Yeah,
incentivize that, because it's all, in my opinion, it's all about distribution, and it's a reason to advertise and have a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough.
We're
live. I forgot.
But yeah, how much would it cost to use Microsoft for CTR manipulation? Would it work for Spotify and YouTube? Just the last question.
And Spotify, I'm not interested in that, but YouTube is heavily guarded. I don't play around. I don't know for those two. I don't have an answer for you. I apologize. But as far as costs are concerned, less than $1,000. Depends on your setup, but less than $1,000. Far less. It depends on where are you acquiring data? Where is the data housed? How are you getting it? But yeah, less than $1,000.
Interesting. But on that note, guys, we will catch you at the same time next week. And any comments, if you're watching this later on, leave them below. And make sure you check out the news guy. His link is below. And also this guy, Chris Palmer. Just search for Chris Palmer. I'm not even going to try and remember all of his fucking domains. But Chris Palmer SEO. Look for him on Facebook, YouTube, wherever. I'm sure he'll be kicking around somewhere.
I'm around somewhere. I think I'm going to consolidate to one now.